Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's another Wednesday, and we're here at the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. And this is Hump Day Happy Chat, where we try and talk about all the ways, all the tips and tools that you can use on a daily basis to bring more happiness, fulfillment, and success into your life. Starting right now. Happy Wednesday. Good morning. Thanks for joining me. I'm Valerie Shepard, coming to you live from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery, where we help you master yourself in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever life brings your way. And if life brings you lots of chocolate and cherries on top, yay! And when life brings you something that's not that, these tips and tools can help you navigate what it is that's coming up in a way that is still life-giving, fun-filled, fulfilling, happy. Yabba dabba do. Who needs more happiness? I do. Well, actually, who needs more happiness and who needs it to be easy as pie to get all the happiness you want? I do. So here we are at the Hump Day Happy Chat. And I said today we're going to talk about an overlooked power, an often overlooked power in your day-to-day creation. And let's talk about that. So the power of the spoken word. Today's topic is say what? What'd you say? Say what? And sometimes it ought to be, excuse me? Because the stuff that's coming out of our chatter boxes is not the stuff that happy lives are made of. The stuff that we utter is not what happy lives are made of. So let's talk about this for a second. The power, there is such power in the spoken word. And I don't want to get religious or biblical or anything like that, but through all of the major faiths, there is some pretty important perspective, let's call it perspective, teaching about the power of the spoken word. So I've heard them called the vehicles through which ideas make themselves manifest. Here's a quote from a Kabbalah scholar, an international best-selling author of a couple of books, one, The Power of the Kabbalah, the other, the 72 Names of God. His name is Yehuda Berg. Words are singularly the most powerful force available to humanity. We can choose to use this force constructively or destructively. Words have energy and power with ability to help, heal, hinder, harm, humiliate, and humble. The Quran in 263 says, a kind word with forgiveness is better than almsgiving followed by injury. Scholars of the Quran say there's power of life and death in the tongue. And actually, it's the words that come out of the tongue that make or break people's lives. The important thing here, regardless of where you look within this realm of spirituality, metaphysics, quantum physics, interfaith belief systems, throughout it all, there is a teaching about the power of the words that you use. And they change lives. And it's really important when you're talking with others, right? Paying more attention to how we speak and hence how we think changes circumstances. Thich Nhat Hanh, who is one of my favorite writers, and he's a Vietnamese monk who is a peace scholar and peace advocate. And what I love about him is the inner realm is what he talks about. Well, all of these faiths talk about the inner realm, but I really love the way Thich Nhat Hanh does it. He's a contemporary Buddhist monk. He's still alive, although he suffered a pretty bad stroke a few years ago. But he talks about loving speech. He's written a book called Being Peace, and he talks about loving speech. And the whole idea is to speak in a loving countenance, tolerance, filled with tolerance and compassion, even when we're having disagreements. And this is so important right now. The world is filled with words that are coming at us from all different places. And because of the digital age that we're living in, we can get them pretty quickly. And they're zinging right into our hearts, not just our minds where our intellects pick them up and dance with them and, create what is true and what is not. But there's a place where they zing that is really a powerful receptor of energy, and that is the heart. And so when we talk about loving speech and even when we're in disagreement, can we do it in a way that we are communicating with tolerance and harmony and peace? Hi there. Thank you for joining. Tolerance and peace and love. Can we do that? And I would suggest it's an imperative that we do. And the reason why is because of the power of the words we speak and the energy that those words carry. And all of this, so far, I'm talking about, what we're doing with others. So gossiping about others, wasting time, pointing out all the ineffectualities of others. And that's really, really important. So I'm saying really, really important. There's another place that I want to get to that's really important to me because I'm a self-mastery expert. So to me, this concept of the power of the spoken word is the most powerful in what you say about yourself, how you use yourself in your words. So, question, are you somebody who makes yourself the butt of jokes? Are you somebody who, when receiving a compliment, you either internalize it in a sarcastic voice, which is your voice. It's not the person who gave you the compliment. It's your voice transmuting the words or the energy that they gave, and you're putting something on it. Projection. That's called projection. People do it all the time. They hear somebody and they're like, why are you saying it like that? And the person's like, what? I didn't think I was saying it anyway. What my intention is love, kindness, and I'm seeing you and I'm paying you a compliment. If you're hearing it in sarcasm, we need to talk about what's going on inside of you that is creating that voice. So do you make yourself the butt of jokes? Can you hear compliments in love or only in sarcasm? Are you turning them into a way that the person is pointing out what's not right with you, even though they're trying to make it sound like what's right with you? Do you beat yourself up? Is your voice in your head the one that takes issue with everything that you do? There's something stupid about that idea. There's something ridiculous about the way you can't remember how to do this. Or do you beat yourself up because you've been working on something, practicing at something, and you haven't made it to where you want to go? And so you make where you are completely wrong by beating yourself up. You are the judge, jury, jailer, and executioner of you, of your spirit, of your beautiful magnificence in this realm. You are... When you have the opportunity with the words you speak to the self, the words you say about yourself, to be compassionate, nurturing, counsel, confidant, and most importantly, advocate, to be your own advocate. Here's a quick exercise to determine what's your inner voice. Most people kind of know when I ask them. They know. They've heard themselves enough to know. But here's an exercise you can do. You can close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths. I usually do this around cooking and baking. So imagine that you're getting prepared for something really special, and you're fixing this signature special dish, whether it's baking or cooking, but it is your dish. It is phenomenal. Everybody loves it. You love serving it. It requires 3 eggs, and you have exactly 3 eggs, and you're so grateful. I am not going to the grocery store. I got to get this dish done. People are coming over here in a couple of hours. I got my 3 eggs. And in making preparation on your counter or table or wherever you're working, you knock 2 of the eggs off the counter, splat on the floor. What are the first 3 things that you hear that inner self say to this divine being that you are about that experience? What are the first 3 things? Imagine that there's any way, any time, any place that you have done something. If cooking's not your thing, just anything. You had a car accident, you fell down the stairs, you dropped a glass. When I first got home from rehab, my right hand was tremoring so much that if I put a glass down, I often knocked it over with what was happening after I put the glass down. And this was a very important exercise that I had done a long time ago and gotten clear on what kinds of things I said to myself in those circumstances when I'm doing something that doesn't feel like myself would want to do. And if those words aren't filled with love and tolerance and compassion, if those words don't build you up, if those words aren't words that you could speak to a small child and support them when they're afraid, when they're sad, when they're forlorn, when they're desperate, if those words wouldn't lift that tiny child up, those are not words that you should be speaking to yourself or to others about yourself. The power of your words to you, about you, it's incredible. You are creating your experience. You have to, and I'm saying have to. I invite and encourage you, and I'm saying you have to get this under the control of the highest version of yourself. And so here are some tips for speaking and saying what enlivens you, enriches your life, emboldens you, empowers you, and fills you up with rich, happy spirit of juju. Really gives you just the most awesome, essential nature of love, peace, joy, and freedom. So here are a couple tips. Number 1, you got to listen to yourself. Some people jabber, 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 jaw, and they never hear anything. And I ask them when I'm coaching with them or when I'm with my students, do you hear yourself right now? Did you hear what you just said? And they don't. And then I play it back, and there's this moment of, oh my. Like, oh my, what am I doing to myself? So being vigilant about hearing the inner voice is a part of this practice. You need to stop talking long enough to say, what is it that I really want to say in this moment? What is it that I truly want to say in this moment? Truly being from the truth of you, from the essential nature of you, which is divine, from the soul self, from your divine soul being self. That's the true word I want to speak. The rest of it is probably a misunderstanding brought on by my ego and my conditioning. Are you getting it? So what am I really wanting to say? If all I can hear is this judge, jury, jailer, executioner, maybe I need to look at what's underneath these words. What wound I haven't healed? What forgiveness is still there to create? What affirmative prayer about me, to me, from me, for me should I be saying? What part of my essential nature have I disconnected from and I need to reconnect to? As a divine being, where would all this hellish verse be coming from? What's underneath the layers? I call it the iceberg below the surface. You've really got to get clear. And then, as you think before you speak and you get clear and you maybe mastermind those words a little bit, what I'd really like to say, there are 2 points. Number 1, Say what you want. Speak into being where you're going, not what's not working, not what you don't want. Where am I headed? Speak where you're going. Speak loving truth about what you're bringing into fruition as you, for you, from you, to you, by you. That's what you want to be in the positive, present and forward-looking act of creation. What is it that I want? And then you can hedge things. For example, people have often heard me say this. I will say, I don't know if this is true or not, but it's my story for now. My story is, I am not able to do that. I'm willing to be wrong about that story. So I'm not anchoring these things as the way things are. I'm being fluid with them. I'm telling the universe I'm open to receive wisdom on this story that allows me to transform the story, and by so doing, transform myself, and by so doing, transform my experience in the world. And my experience in the world has everything that I'm trying to create in the world. So my abundance, my prosperity, my romantic love of my life relationship, my really awesome friends, the transformation that I'd like to be a messenger of and vehicle for in the world, all those things are hinging on my spoken words. And all of your things are hinging on your spoken words. So what is the really, really, really deeply truthful thing that you want to say about anything? Go there. Be careful about speaking without consideration. And I said earlier, think before you speak, but I'd really like to take it to a deeper level of consideration. Like, what is it? Consider. And the way I'm thinking of consider is to get out of the conscious, rational, logical, conscious mind, cognitive mind, and drop into your intuitive self. You'll hear messages from there that are exactly what you want to be saying about you. And remember, even if you don't say it out loud, you hear everything you think and say about yourself. Everything. So make those thoughts and those words life-giving, love-spreading, beautiful, harmonious, compassionate words and thoughts. Yay! That's today's Hump Day Happy Chat. Be vigilant about the power of your words. You might have to go, say what? To yourself a couple times so you can catch yourself killing yourself with your words. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the Hump Day Happy Chat with Valerie Shepard at the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. If you missed our last Happier Camper Masterclass, well, there's a big one coming up in June. It's called This Is How You Soar. It will be my coming out party. Yay! It'll be my first solo workshop retreat since the stroke. So 3.5 years. By then, it'll actually be the anniversary of the stroke. It's a very big time, very big weekend. I lovingly invite you to join me. We're going to be in the California Redwoods up in Scotts Valley near Santa Cruz at a beautiful luxury all-inclusive resort center called 1440 Multiversity. The workshop is This Is How You Soar. I'll put the links and stuff in here and you'll see my friends and I blopping out some, where did that word come from? Blopping out some, blopping out some communication about it. And I would love to have you join me and celebrate this extremely magical and awesome time in my life of getting to this beautiful 4-year anniversary after the stroke. So many blessings. Happy Hump Day. Love and light. And thanks again for joining me. And oh, by the way, share, share, share. Other people need the wisdom that you're getting. Other people need the light and the love. Who needs it? Share it. Thank you so much. Help me with a ripple effect. Bye now. Turning off, going away, seeing later. Bye, 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 bye.